Welcome to ABC 10 Plus. We are in the middle of a weather impact alert. All day long, we have been tracking the rain in the valley and the snow in the Sierra. This is a live look at downtown Sacramento and Donner Summit at I-80. There are already reports of flooding across our area, and those conditions only expected to intensify in the next few hours. As always, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Alex Bell, and you're watching a special weather impact alert. We're going to have team coverage on this storm. We'll have meteorologist Monica Woods standing by with the latest. We also have ABC 10's Roxanne Elias in the foothills with how the rain is impacting the area. But first, let's check in with Luke Cleary. He made the drive all the way up to Interstate 80 in the snow. Luke, what are conditions like right now?
I'm here at Kingvale, just off of I-80. There's a lot of activity here because we are just past the Caltrans chain control station right over this way, and we've seen literally 100 or more trucks on the side of the road installing chains as they try to make their way up eastbound into the mountains. The snow's not coming down too hard right now, but we have seen fluffier, heavier chunks of snow as we've gotten into the higher elevations. More of a rainy, wintry mix lower down the mountain. We're going to go ahead and speak to Caltrans spokesperson John O'Connell is here with me right now. And John, there was a report of a spin out, a semi truck spun out earlier today on I-80. What are crews doing out there to keep traffic moving?
Well, I mean, we did. We had a spin out earlier this morning around 9 a.m. It only lasted about 25 minutes before we were able to get the road clear. So nothing too major, thankfully. But we're just encouraging people, you know, if you're coming up here this week to go skiing or for whatever reason, please drive safely. It's 30 miles an hour speed limit on I-80 when chains are up as they are now. As we stand here at Kingvale, it's kind of a rain-snow mix, so kind of a higher elevation snow event right now.
And we have seen Caltrans snow plows out and about on the roads. We see people like yourself in that bright, high visibility jacket. What are your crews doing right now?
They're out plowing the roads, keeping them clear, you know, and grading off the snow as well. You know, it's keeping I-80 as clear as possible. You know, on my way up here today, it's still in pretty good shape. It helps that there's not a lot of traffic, thankfully, and the snow is not coming down too hard. But yeah, you know, our maintenance crews are ready. They are prepared, fully staffed, and they're out on the roads right now, keeping everything clear.
All right, John, thank you. John O'Connell with District 3 at Caltrans. And once again, there are crews out here trying to make sure that people remain safe on these roads. Chain controls in effect. As you can see, this vehicle making its way back up the mountain. We'll continue to have coverage for you on air, online as well. But for now, reporting in Kingvale, Luke Clary, ABC 10.
All right, Luke, thank you, and please stay safe up there. Now, he's on I-80. Let's take a live look at conditions on Highway 50. This is at Echo Summit. As you can still see snow sitting there. We have some dense fog right there. You can see it might be hard to see on those roadways. And the foothills are expected to be impacted by this storm. So I want to go ahead and bring in ABC 10's Roxanne Elias. She's north of Placerville, where a sinkhole is already causing some issues.
Good afternoon. I'm reporter Roxanne Elias here in the historic community of Mosquito, where the Mosquito Fire Protection District actually stumbled upon a sinkhole that we see here on Gravel Road. I have the fire chief here that is going to explain to us what we have going on here behind us.
So what we have going on is that there's a drainage culvert that goes underneath the road here. So it is basically a 36-inch pipe that flows underneath the road to allow water to go under instead of over the road. Over the years, it apparently has been dammed off and blocked, so that during our recent rains, it has now created a point of erosion, so it's starting to wash the road away. With the water flow, it is not going through the pipe, it's going over the pipe and pushing more and more of the supporting dirt underneath the roadway away from us. So we don't know what's occurring under the roadway and how secure it is. As you can see, we have great visualization here, but over here with the berry bushes and not being able to access the other side, we have no idea what is actually occurring here and how severe the damage is.
And you told us this is about 10 feet wide, 10 feet deep, and this perhaps grew overnight, Monday night. Tell us, what are the concerns now with more rain that could possibly be falling throughout the day?
My concern is that there's going to be continued amount of erosion. that is going to take this road out. It's something that has occurred before, happened on the Mosquito Road in 2017 during the heavy rains that we had there. And being that the engineering here for the drainage is very limited, I would have great concerns that as the rain continues to fall with the volume of water that we're expected to receive, that we will see even greater erosion, and that in time this whole roadway will disappear.
And this is kind of crucial to fix right now because there are several homes and this is kind of a one-way road in and out. So what can we do now?
The biggest thing is now is we have to have the community members meet with us at the fire station to identify a path forward. Since this is a private road, I have to know what their plans would be for repairing this. My concern is by putting a 35,000-ton fire engine over this particular area, is it strong enough to support the weight of that vehicle? And if it's not, that vehicle will sink into this hole, and then we will completely close off the road. So as it is now, we will provide emergency services through our what we call a Type 6 fire engine that is greatly limited firefighting capability, and we will use light vehicles to respond to medical emergencies.
Thank you, Chief. That was Chief Dwyer here explaining to us that he does believe there are other areas that may be affected right now due to flooding and so much rainfall here. He's asking community members, if you see something like this, to please reach out to the fire district.
All right, and that was ABC 10's Roxana Elias. Closer to our area, flooding has been reported in parts of Roseville and Rockland. That's exactly where we find ABC 10's Candace Red with tips on driving safely through this rain.
We're at Industrial Avenue. This is right near Sunset Boulevard in Rockland. Giving you a look right behind me, you can see the street is flooded. One lane is covered with water. There are at least 2 signs posted that read flooded. Some cars are driving around the flooded road while others are going straight through the flood waters. Now remember, it's best to avoid flooded streets. Again, never drive through flood waters and never drive around barricades. Placer County closed certain roads because of flooding concerns. We also know that the roads out here are wet, slippery, and visibility is low, especially if you get on the interstates or highways. We've also spotted some digital signs posted on the interstate warning people about severe weather. It's best at this point to just stay home if possible. If you must go out, of course, follow the rules and the laws of the road. No speeding. We've seen people doing that. No distracted driving. We've seen people on their cell phones while behind the wheel. And keep your distance from other vehicles. Unfortunately, we've also seen some drivers way too close to the vehicles in front of them. You really want to make sure you're slowing down and giving each other space and sharing the road. There's already been reports of crashes this morning, and the National Weather Service issued a flood watch until tomorrow for this region and other areas. We know that rivers, creeks, and streams could possibly flood. Storm drains may even get clogged with debris. As we come back out here to show you this flooded street, again, some cars going straight through here, through these flooded waters. But again, that's exactly what you don't want to do. Again, just be sure to stay home if you can, so that way you won't be stuck in this weather. In Rockland, Candace Red, ABC 10.
All right, Candace, thank you so much. Sacramento County is extending its weather respite centers as a result of this storm. Those centers were activated back in early January and will now stay open until next Monday. So here's a look at where those shelters are located. There's the Warren E. Thornton Youth Center on Branch Center Road, as well as the County Outreach and Engagement Shelter on Auburn Boulevard. The county will also open an overnight shelter tonight at the North 5th Street Navigation Center. And SAC-RT, they're offering free rides to those shelters. All you need to do is just show them this flyer. You can find this picture of the flyer on the SAC-RT website. And take a look at this. A major mudslide this afternoon caused a house in Sonoma County to slide. Authorities say the home was empty, but rescue crews searched the water and debris. About 10 homes were evacuated in the area. Happening right now, Sacramento County proclaiming an emergency in response to some levee erosion. This is on the levee west of Dillard Road and south of Highway 16 along the Cosumnes River. According to the county, the threat of the levee failure is low, but their Office of Emergency Services has developed a response plan if those conditions get worse. And with all the rain coming in, PG&E is alerting people living near Lake Spalding in Nevada County that there will be an early spill of the reservoir today. Because of this, they are warning that South Yuba River will see increased flows, and they ask anyone planning to be in the area to please stay out of the water. The Oroville Dam began releasing water yesterday thanks to the high rain totals. The Department of Water Resources says this water release was done to lower potential flooding. And let's go ahead and take another live look at downtown Sacramento and Soda Springs at I-80. There are already reports of flooding across our area, and those conditions only expected to intensify in the next few hours. So let's go ahead and bring in our Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods. She is tracking the latest on this, our rain and snow totals. Monica.
Oh, we can hear it coming down. The wind is gusting, that powerful cold front getting ready to move on through. So our rain getting heavier. The wind gusts also starting to ramp up. You can see the plume of moisture off the coast here, driven by that low pressure system, kind of the conductor of everything, pulling in that train of moisture from the Pacific. And that's why we have our weather impact alerts today and again on Thursday. Yes, we've got storm system number 2 still on the way. Heavy rain, snow, and windy conditions will continue. So as Alex has been showcasing, we've got a lot of flooding concerns. Be flood ready. And those major mountain impacts are going to increase because we got a colder storm on the way. Taking a look at the timeline through Friday. Today, we've got our cooler storm, then certainly the one that we had this weekend. We're going to see that snow level dropping. Right now, it's really fluctuating right about that Donner Summit line. You heard from Luke Clary earlier talking about a very cold rain, wet snow at the summit. We are going to see that lowering, though, for tonight. That gets us into Wednesday, kind of a brief pause in the systems, and then we'll get to that colder storm on Thursday. We'll see lighter rain showers, but a lot more mountain snow. It'll linger into our Friday. All right, let's take a look at our radar. Here we go with the time lapse here over the past 3 hours. That big line of rain moving through here just off to the west of the capital region, impacting I-80 through Vacaville, Fairfield, up towards I-5, towards Williams and Yuba City with some moderate rain showers. So you think it's coming down right now in the capital region? It's about to really get impacted here during the evening commute. Real spotty showers through Stockton and Modesto. I know we've been really not getting the benefits of some of the recent rain, but we are going to, as you can see, the Delta region right now getting the moderate rain. This is due to move through again during the evening commute. Moving up into the higher elevations, it's a mixed bag throughout 80 and 50, most of 50. It's been a very sloppy, slushy drive up to the South Lake Tahoe region, with most of the lake level conditions being rain right now. South of Highway 50 near Kirkwood, Bear Valley, along 88 and 89. A little bit better in the way of snow. It's just simply we have higher peaks going on in the Central Sierra, so that tends to favor more of a snow event than, say, rain at this point. North of I-80, it is mostly rain through much of Nevada County and Sierra as we move over towards Chico. I've been seeing a lot of chatter about the Park Fire burn scar. Will we see mud and debris flows from that burn scar? It doesn't quite meet the threshold for the rain intensity coming in. We will be watching. There's certainly been a couple of little slides that we've been monitoring, but nothing too impactful at this point. But that's where that burn scar is. If you can see the red outline right here, just off to the east and north of Chico, just off to the east as well of Red Bluff. So it's a pretty significant burn scar. We'll be watching that as we head into tonight and tomorrow. This is preliminary. I just wanted to kind of showcase some of the rain and snow totals from earlier today. About 11 to 15 plus inches of snow already coming down. Now, some of that is getting mixed in with the rain, but we'll be back to snow before too long. Downtown Sacramento now over an inch of rain, and Roseville about an inch and a half coming in as we head towards the afternoon hours. Here's a wide look at our conditions here for Donner Lake. We've got chain controls in effect, as you can see, kind of screening those trucks. At Myers, we've got rain basically at the Tahoe Basin. Exposition, wow, look at the lineup of traffic when it is raining at I-80 at Exposition. That's Highway 50, or Biz 80 right there. That is a busy, busy situation. And then I-5 at near Sacramento International. Things are moving pretty smoothly, but I would say if you have travel plans out towards the airport, prepare for a lot of delays, especially as we start to chip away closer to the commute. Flash flood potential remains right through the Sacramento Valley, parts of the foothills, and even towards the Mother Lode, off towards the Bay Area as well. So we'll continue to monitor that as we head into our Tuesday. It's going to shift a little bit into our Wednesday and Thursday. But that flood watch, by the way, still in effect through Wednesday morning due to nuisance flooding, a lot of ponding on the roadways, and difficult commutes, as well as any storm drains. You know the ones in your neighborhood. They always seem to get clogged. Somehow they just can't flush through. Those are going to have an issue with the amount of rain coming in. Mud and rock slide potential, I mentioned that. We'll continue to monitor. Now, behind all of that is this flood advisory due to the excessive rainfall, stream and road flooding going on throughout the Sacramento region towards Vacaville and Fairfield, parts of the foothills as well. We'll see that all the way through 7 p.m. National Weather Service said earlier 3 p.m. Now we just kind of continue to add on to that just because of the amount of rainfall coming in. We have a winter storm warning in effect through 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's for the Sierra with 1 to 3 feet of new snow, wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour, and major travel impacts, especially overnight tonight through early tomorrow. And then for the coastal range, we have a winter weather advisory. That's in place through 10 o'clock tonight, 4 to 12 inches of new snow and wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. Wanted to showcase this, our winds. This is a much different situation than, say, the weekend weather system that came through. So we're seeing wind gusts well over 40 miles per hour. Trees are impacted, power outages possible. We've seen some pockets of power outages already. Here's a look at those peak wind gusts so far today. 53 miles per hour for Stockton, almost 50 for Sacramento, over 60 for South Lake Tahoe. So talk about difficult travel in the mountains. You got elevation, you got a mixed bag of precipitation, and you got the wind gusts. And again, over towards the coast, 46 mile per hour peak wind gusts for San Francisco. What's ahead for the rest of the afternoon? Those wind gusts start to subside ever so slightly around the morning commute, but they're starting to transition into the East Valley area and then eventually into the foothills, the Sierra. It'll be ongoing until about 8 o'clock for tonight. Now, this is almost directly in line with the cold front passing through, bringing us that sharp change in the cooler air opposed to the warmer air. Right now, we're still in the 40s for the Tahoe Basin. Lower elevations were closer to 60 degrees, so it's kind of a warm rain event. Here's that sharp line. Just past the 5 o'clock hour, we see that shift ever so slightly off to the east. So all of us in the Eastern Valley locations, Folsom, El Dorado Hills, Roseville, Lincoln, Loomis, even up towards Auburn, once we get into the foothills, we are going to see heavy rain at that time. Stockton and Modesto, we finally get those totals coming up. And north of Highway 50, this is where we see some vulnerability to some rock and mudslides coming in right about 6 o'clock. Once we get past that time, we see that line move off to the east. But it's at that point we start to see the snow level coming down because of that cold air coming in. At 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, there's not a whole lot of precipitation left, but that's at a point when we see that snow line down to about 3,000 feet. Wednesday's our break, but again, here we go again on Thursday. So we've got a lot to unpack here. Today, we've got that first weather system coming in that will have that sharp precipitation line with our snow level lowering to about 4,000 feet. We talked about the gusty winds. Thursday, Friday, a little bit of a different system. That's a colder one. Snow levels drop to about 3,000 feet, but we see less rain than the earlier storms coming through. So how are our rivers handling all this? Pretty well. Keep in mind, January was so dry, we don't have really widespread vulnerability of flooding. We will see a minor flood stage, though, for the Sacramento and Russian River. You saw those pictures just a little while ago of the Russian River and that house just kind of sliding. So that's one of the areas, quite honestly, is usually very vulnerable. Guerneville, one of the areas as well. It just has a very tight area to move all that water through. Fremont Weir into the Yolo bypass looks like it is going to reach that overflow for the first time this year. That'll happen, it looks like, tomorrow afternoon. So we'll be watching for that. Right now, it's just a little bit below that threshold, but then it will flow into the Yolo bypass, it looks like, by tomorrow. Just again, due to the volume of water coming through. Sacramento River at I Street Bridge, though, below that monitor stage. But if you're out and about in downtown Sacramento, you may see the Sacramento River looking awfully high, especially with the releases going on. We've got the Feather, the Yuba, the Sacramento, the American that all meet when we get to Discovery Park right by that I Street Bridge. So that tends to get a good dose of water coming through. Our model rainfall through tomorrow morning, we're expecting about an inch of rain to come on through for the valley and the foothills. And then as we move into our Thursday evening, you can see that we're just not going to add a whole lot to it. This is not a terribly wet system for Thursday. The one hitting today, right now, that you hear on your rooftop, this is the big one for the valley. Our model snowfall coming in 1 to 25 plus inches by the time we get into our Friday forecast. So we're really going to ramp up those snow amounts. Again, here's that driver of all this action, pulling in the colder air. Still a lot of moisture coming in from the Pacific. We're going to see that snow line coming and going. Today, it's closer to about 7,000 to 7,200 feet. Comes down for tomorrow, but there's just not a whole lot of precipitation. Then Thursday and Friday, that's our colder storm, a much bigger impact storm for the Sierra, and a winter storm watch already posted. That'll take us through our Friday. With our winter storm severity index south of Highway 50, you can see how that goes up to the moderate range here for the central and southern Sierra. Some good news for Southern California, not in the burn scars, but at least to drive up the precipitation. We will see some impacts right around the LA basin. Futurecast for us here in Northern California. As we head into our Tuesday evening, we'll start to see that line clear out of here, a break on Wednesday. But here's the Thursday storm. And you'll notice it is much different. We don't see as much of the yellows and orange popping up here on our Futurecast. It's more of a moderate to light rain event for the valley. It'll still be nuisance rain. Not a day we can go out and do those errands rain-free. But that snow line is pretty much all the way widespread throughout the Tahoe Basin. And again, it will come down Friday to about 3,000 to 4,000 feet. So places like Pollock Pines getting some snow, as well as along I-80 up towards Alta, where it's been mostly rain with almost every weather system coming through. That low is opening up that storm track. So it goes all the way south of us with very chilly air. Get ready for some frosty conditions. So how is this helping with our snowpack? Just last Friday, our statewide snowpack was at 65% with that snow survey. Right now, we're at 110% of average for the Northern Sierra. We were starting to see that come down below average just with 2 atmospheric rivers coming through. We're at 110% of average, bringing our statewide average up to 71%, and that was as of yesterday. We're going to add to that. We aren't even accounting for this Friday storm coming through. This is also helping our reservoir supply levels. Have been getting a lot of questions about this too, and just want to update you on where we stand right now. This is the latest reading from the Department of Water Resources, right around 80% of capacity. So these are bigger reservoirs. Oroville, Shasta, Trinity, they can hold a lot of water. Folsom needs to be managed a little bit tighter. It's a smaller reservoir, so they can't keep that water in there because it has to be released for all the water coming down the hill from what has been a little bit higher snow levels. So gravity is taking that down the hill right now. But things will change later on this week. For New Melones, Don Pedro, San Luis, all about 70 to 80% of capacity. Millerton, a little bit lower. But again, we're going to start to add to that because of the position of our next atmospheric river that's coming through. Hits us a little bit farther to the south. We'll be getting some benefits into the LA basin with that next one coming through. And then we dry out, but we're not done yet. We get right back at it. So this is going to be a cycle that we continue to look at. Our 8 to 14 day climate outlook, folks, get ready. It's going to be likely cooler here all across the west. And as far as our precipitation outlook, likely wetter through the middle of February. We'll get periods of breaks here, but it does appear that we are going to be in for at least another round of wet weather next week. In the meantime, for tomorrow, we get a bit of a break here. A little bit of early morning precipitation will clear out rather quickly. Thursday's another weather impact alert day into early Friday. We'll see a few lingering showers, but the weekend, talk about great timing here. We have some dry weather. As I mentioned, we have more action coming in from the Pacific with potential for more atmospheric rivers coming our way late next week, giving us a renewed chance of some showers next Thursday and Friday for the middle of February. So February playing out much differently than January. And you're watching us on ABC 10 Plus. If you're watching us on YouTube, I would just say download that ABC 10 Plus app. It's a great way to stay up to date with our extended forecast. What you've been watching right now is very similar to what we do on a daily basis, keeping you updated on precipitation totals, how our waterways are handling the volume of water coming in from the Pacific. Not only do we get those forecasts, but the ABC 10 Weather Impact Team has done a number of specials. We talk about the future of California water. We talk about water wasted, everything that's coming down right now. How are we managing it in California? Where does it go? Does it go out to the sea? Does it go through the Delta? Does it go down to Southern California? Where is it stored? Stored above ground, stored below ground in our groundwater. We investigate it all. We talk about recycled water, desalination. There is nothing that we haven't looked at in terms of water. And our newest special is California dying lakes. We've had a real problem with algae blooms and bacteria. We even go into those types of topics as well. So we've got climate specials, explainers, weather forecasts, you name it. We have it on ABC 10 Plus. It's live, local, always on. You can watch for free, download it for free wherever you stream. Again, weather specials just like what you've been watching right here on ABC 10 Plus. It's on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV as well. You hear the rain coming down right now, and we are going to continue to monitor all the rain coming in, the flooding issues, as well as the snow in the Sierra. This is storm system number 1 of our work week. Storm 2 heads our way on Thursday, takes us through Friday, and we've got more in store for next week. Make sure you follow us right here on ABC 10 Plus and on air. Our broadcast is on at 5 p.m. Stay dry out there, folks.